At first, it looked like it was going to be easy, but as we know with this New York Yankees team, nothing in life comes easy. The Yankees survive opening day. What's going on, guys? It's the King of Honor 61st June. I'm back another video, and for a while, this game looked like the best case scenario for the New York Yankees. Austin Wells starting off this game with a solo home run to become the first ever catcher to hit a leadoff home run on opening day, and becomes the first catcher ever to lead off on opening day. The first catcher to ever lead off in Yankees history. Austin Wells made a lot of history today. Along with him, Anthony Volpe was able to go deep. This offense at times started to look stale. They weren't able to manufacture the runs like they were hyped up to do. The pitching was great. And that's really where I want to start. Carlos Rodon, he looked fantastic. His slider was on point. His changeup was able to be dotted. Yes, he overthrew his fastball a couple of times. That's his specialty. But he kept it to a minimum. And he was able to put in a performance that makes me think, is this going to be the best Carlos Rodon that we have seen in his entire career? Because back when he was with Chicago, he was a menace. Borderline all-star caliber starter. Gets traded over to San Francisco. Part of the teardown for the Chicago White Sox was getting rid of Carlos Rodon because he was so valuable at that point. He continued that in San Francisco, and that's how he earned this contract that he's on. This Carlos Rodon that I saw today, although at times faltered a little bit, all pitchers do. That's a pitcher that I would trust in any game. That was the type of performance that makes me think this rotation could be fine. If Max Fried is the ace he's supposed to be, that is probably one of the best twos in baseball. And that's only if he keeps this up. There's a chance that this becomes an anomaly. But right now, as I'm speaking, that type of Carlos Rodon can be a number 2 on a championship team. That was an excellent performance. And when he did get into trouble, this time, Aaron Boone did not have Nestor Cortez to come in, so he had to go with Tim Hill. Sound familiar? And Tim Hill found a way to get out of that inning. I saw some people saying that Nestor Cortez, who is in the opposing dugout now, was rooting for Tim Hill to struggle there. Almost as a C. It could happen. I thought that was pretty funny. Tim Hill looked good. That sidearm motion, it's going to be nasty. And you saw these hitters fooled. That was cool. Luke Weaver looked like he's at the top of his game. And that 1-2 punch, and we'll get to the 2 in a second. That 1-2 punch could be the best 1-2 punch in baseball if all things come together. That's the type of setup man that I trust in any game. And then we go to Devin Williams. And I'm going to see a lot of people overreacting. Oh, Devin Williams, he's overrated. He's not what was advertised. It was a tough outing. And this is a rough way for him to come into the game. His first outing as a Yankee is against a team that is probably the only team in Major League Baseball that actually knows what he's throwing. When you're with an organization for 4+ years, these guys start to understand exactly what you're doing. So yeah, that pitch is an airbender against the Yankees. That pitch is an airbender against the Cincinnati Reds, the Boston Red Sox, any other team in Major League Baseball. That is a pitch that is unhittable. But when you've seen it year over year, you start to get used to it. And that's what I saw with the Milwaukee Brewers. They were saying it on the broadcast. They were sitting on that changeup and reacting to the fastball. And of course, when you're Devin Williams, you're not used to that. So the first couple batters, you throw a couple changeups, they're not biting. And then the fastballs are not located properly, ends up with second and third, nobody out. The fact that he ended up only giving up 1 run and still salvaging the save is what makes me think that he is still Devin Williams. Because let's think back to last season. At this point, last year, would Clay Holmes have gotten that save? After giving up back-to-back hits to get second and third, nobody out. In a 3-run game, would Clay Holmes have come up with a save? I think the answer is no. Devin Williams is an ultimate pro. He hunkered down and he was able to get through the rest of that lineup, including striking out Christian Yelich, one of the best hitters of this generation, in spurts. Devin Williams will be fine. If he is facing the Boston Red Sox, the Baltimore Orioles, or any other team, that pitch will be unhittable. This was a very tough matchup based on it being his last team. And I hope people realize that yet, and don't go quick to be comparing him to Clay Holmes, to be calling him a bust. Devin Williams is a top 3 closer in baseball. I'd put him at number 2. And even with the struggles he had today, he showed it. The guts he had after giving up those 2 hits to still hunker down, figure out what they were doing, and start trusting that fastball. That's the mark of a great closer. Now on to the hitting end. Like I brought up, Austin Wells hits a home run, and that performance that Austin Wells had today is probably exactly what Aaron Boone envisioned with Austin Wells in that leadoff spot. Either way, no matter if it was Volpe or Jazz, if you had speed that was getting on base in that leadoff spot, they wouldn't be allowed to steal because they don't want you getting out on your legs for Aaron Judge to hit a home run, and now it's a 1-run home run instead of a 2-run home run. So either way, the speed factor gone. Austin Wells, over his minor league career, was a guy who was able to get on base and supply power. And in the second half last year, he showed exactly that. This is the type of game that proves Aaron Boone exactly right. Hits the home run in the first, gets them on the board for Aaron Judge to try and give them insurance, but also was able to get on base multiple times. If you give Aaron Judge opportunities with runners on base, he'll come through. Last year at times, there were not many opportunities with runners on base because Volpe struggled in the leadoff spot and you had multiple guys who struggled. Gleyber Torres ended up being a guy, and that helped us get to the World Series because he got on base a lot. Austin Wells is going to become that type of player. It's very similar to what's going on in Philly with Kyle Schwarber. Austin Wells can become that type of hitter, and that's the performance that proves it. We also saw a home run from Anthony Volpe. If he is using all sides of the field and is able to slap the ball to right field, this could be the breakout year for Anthony Volpe. That's exactly what I want to see. You go to all sides of the field. Yes, he supplied the power in this one, but I don't think Anthony Volpe is supposed to be a power hitter. He's coming in supposed to be a guy who gets on base. He's supposed to be a guy who is a high average, high on base percentage guy, and that's how he accumulates his OPS. That's how he becomes an average hitter and an above average hitter. That's the type of game that suits Anthony Volpe best. And if he's using all sides of the field, especially in Yankee Stadium, he'll get his fair share of home runs because that short porch helped him in this game. That's probably a lazy fly ball in Milwaukee. In Yankee Stadium, that's a home run. And I don't want to see anyone bitching about it because Milwaukee could have used it as well. You have Christian Yelich and you have multiple left-handed batters. Tell them to pull the ball. You guys have the same advantage that we do. Use it. If you care about it that much, take advantage. Aaron Judge in this game at times looked like he's struggling, struck out on a high fastball, but then gets a double down the line to help extend this lead that gave Devin Williams enough breathing room to have those faulty moments and get the save. But overall, I think Judge is going to be perfectly fine. With Austin Wells at that leadoff spot, Aaron Judge might be able to put up an even better year, especially in the RBI category. Being able to get a 2-run homer instead of a 1-run homer, best case scenario in this lineup. So overall, this was a successful opening day. From now on, I'm basically going to be doing series recaps, not single game recaps, possibly streaming some games to get individual reactions. I will be out with another video recapping the entire series in a couple days. Like this video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, hit those notifications so you don't miss my series recap, and I'm out of here. Take care and peace.